Oh, a mirror just opened. It's like... Okay. I'm thinking on that I'm going to try to do it a bit more interesting or exciting with that I'm not going to leave the pack. I will try to keep up with them, and of course I'm intent to release them in some way. Oh, okay, he was not. Okay, so let's just get after the second, but oh, damn Nitos, I was not thinking that he's just going to lose that much speed. Oh, I'm just not intent to get in front of you. I was just on to stay on the road, my friend, don't worry. But right now let's just try to check it, because for some reason they are not really coming. And I'm not really understanding somehow, sometime, because I cannot go that slow that they are just getting after me. In some way, really, no offense, I'm just having fun in some way, because driving is mostly just connected to physics, and because of that Forza Horizon is really a simulator which just really contains mathematical counting for being physics by physically realistic. For that sometimes I'm not really understanding what is the idea from the other side. Let's just check it. It's just going to try to hit me. Most of the time they are just on to, but of course I'm not really intent to let it even for anything. It's just pushing it, but because of that he's just cutting it that much. I'm guessing on that it's not going to be great in some way for him. Ah yeah, that's what I was thinking. He just got onto its top, I guess. So let's just try to keep up this guy, but he just got away. So in this way, as you can see, I'm having fun all the time, but at some point you can have enough of that. You are just trying to check what is behind, and look at these guys. I'm no offense and anything. I'm just really always watching how they are just wrecking the cars, and I don't know. I'm just not really pushing it. I just cut it to four. Did put it into fourth, but at least he was able to get into front of me, and because of that I still do have one more lap. I can get after him, so at least it can happen that... Oh, Chico! Really, he just pushed the brake that hard that if it would be the last lap, then I wouldn't be able to get after it. Oh yeah, I'm not intent to hit you down. I think he just got used to that same thing what I was all the time, that other players are not really playing fair, and in that way of course you always need to count with that thing. You are just going to get hit by others from behind. But right now of course I'm not really intent to do such thing like overtaking him. I think I can give him the winning feeling. I can give it to him even for anything, but of course let's just check it out, because for this he's not going to get it. I do know myself, and when somebody is just acting like this, that they are just trying to hit me out, then I'm always not letting them to gain the satisfaction of the winning. Most of the times when I'm just losing, I'm just doing it on purpose in some way, because I'm just intent to show the other guys that I'm not intent to take away the mood for the game. But against those who are just really trying to hit me out for some reason, I don't even know why, that I'm just not intent to give them the satisfaction of the winning. And for that of course I'm just leaving them behind, and that's all I can give to you, my friend, because I was just thinking that you are not like all the other, but the green Miura 67 with the Jakester guy in its behind its steering wheel is just not going to be my friend, I guess, in that way, that he is going to be on that thing, that he's just going to hit me out if he can, because he might think that he's just not even able to do anything, or it can happen of course that they are just doing it all the time. I'm not really know how. I mean, I'm only seeing those who are just driving around in these multiplayer games, so in that way I'm seeing all the time that they are just hitting each other. At least in the amateur series, because it's just really amateur, I guess, that they are just hitting each other. Most of the times I'm trying to get out of from these collisions, but from time to time it happens that I'm just getting into the fight because I just got hit out that hard, and with that purpose that I'm just seeing it was really an evil thing. And of course you might be aware that I'm just a troll hunter and a fighter of the light, so in that way of course I'm just always going after them and beating them down with the same thing what they just gave to me. So in that way I think I'm really a mirror-like, because if you are kind, then I'm going to be kind, but if you are a prick, then you are not going to remember me from my kindness, you know? So yeah, first time I'm not on to hit out others. And right now let's just try to check it, because I was not starting from the beginning, I mean from the front, and it looks like that I was able to, but I'm just not intent. Oh shit, I was on to leave a space for the guy, and for that I had to hit the wall, because I was not really intent to hit him down. But let me just try to go after the first guy, Jackhammer Lomla, because he's just the first, and if I'm not intent to stay behind, then I should do such thing like what I'm just trying to do, but it can happen all the time that I'm just missing, because I'm not really aware of how the tracks are just going, and it's really dark, and I don't really like dark. But even for anything, of course, I will be on to do such thing like getting after this guy. And because of that, we are not even at the half of the race. Anything can happen, I guess. I would be really happier if I would be able to check and see what is just in front of me, because the darkness is just really taking away every visibility from me. At least I'm not really like when I'm just not seeing where I'm just heading. But let's just try to do such thing like getting after the guy, because he's just pushing to it, and if I'm just not going to push it harder than him, then I'm not going to be able to get after it. So yeah, at least I'm just seeing that I'm getting closer. I just hope that he's just not... Oh shit, cool, he just did the shit though. Yeah, I'm not really happy about it that he just hit me out. Maybe he was not watching, but who cares? Most of the time if you are just hitting guys out, and even for that, because you are not watching, you are careless, I guess, and so for that I'm just thinking on that it was not going to be fine for me, because I was just intent to do such thing like getting around. And in some way I'm liking these kind of situations, because most of the times the other guy just starts to think that he's just going to be better, and even for that, if I'm not going to be able to get after the guy, even for that I think it's going to be really fine for it, because he's just going to think that he can do anything, and maybe it can happen that I'm going to have a good little message. Mainly because of these little things I'm getting all the time messages that lol something really funny, yeah, and the next time you are going to get your ass whooped, and in that way you are not going to laugh anymore. I do know, then the hate just starts, but of course let's just wait till it's going to stop until the end. And I think I was faster, even for that I was lamer in some way, because I was just not really care about that every kind of pylon is just ahead, and I just hit one of it, but it doesn't matter. It always makes more interesting for me, because at least I will need to participate on the last race as well.
Did you know you can pick up more rewards
and
get closer to your next wristband by racing with style?
Right now let's just check it out that it's just working or not. because it can happen that we are going to be even. But how I do see that Jackhammer Loml is just came in, or I don't know, he just won its first race, and in that way it's not going to be fine for him, that he's not going to be able to get after me if I'm not going to lose or lame more. But I always saying that anything can happen, so let's just wait out till it's going to end, and then we might be able to decide how thing was. But even for anything, I'm thinking on that it's going to be fine, because racing is a good thing in some way if you are just having good opponents for it. But I guess they are not really the best opponents, and so for that it's just not really the best races. But at least I'm just able to get after them, I guess, and even for that I just lost the last one. I'm just thinking that it's not going to be like this next time. Shiko, sorry. I was not really intent to hit you down, but somebody just started to do such thing like hitting others out. Yeah, it's just no, it's just going to hit me out again. Just not really watching, I guess, and so for that, of course, let's just push him a little bit from behind. Oh yeah, it was really fine for him, I guess, because he just really got behind a bit. Jackhammer Loml is just going to be in front, so at least I am able to get after it, and then let's just try to do such thing like overtaking him, because in some way I'm thinking that my car is just faster. If I will be able to push it in a good way, then it can happen that I'm going to get after it, and because of that I just got hold up. He got a little bit of advantage in some way, but doesn't matter. Let's just try to pull the car back into the straight, and then let's just go after the guy, because I can guess that I'm going to be able to, mainly because that I just got hold up by the others and not was faster. But anything can happen. Let's just try to check out what is going to be like this, and let's just push to it, because of course I'm counting on that this guy is just going to be fast in some way. But I'm hoping that I'm going to get after it in some way, of course. Shiko, I'm just not really doing it great in some way. And for that he just was able to get a little bit of faster lap again, an advantage, I guess. But I just Shiko should not do such thing like this, because in that way I'm not going to be able to get after the guy, and even for anything I'm just not really getting used to the car right now. But I do still have one lap, and because of that I'm just saying all the time that anything can happen. Of course I'm not giving up, and I'm not intent to quit even for anything. Let's just push to it, and let's just try to catch him even for anything, right? So yeah, still pushing it, and I think I'm just getting closer. But will it be enough for me to get close enough to be able to overtake him before the race ends? And because of that I'm just not really aware how it's just going to work in some way. Oh Shiko, I just made it wrong again, and for that he just got closer because I was faster in some way. I just made it wrong, and so for that I won't be able to get after the guy because I just got hold up that much. That is just not going to be great, but he just made a big mistake in some way, so if I'm not going to do the same big mistake, it can happen anything, because I'm just really getting closer to it. And I think he's just not going to be that fast as I can be. But anything can happen, because he's just pushing to it, and I'm just not really intent not to overtake it if I can. I think I was lucky in some way. Even for that, of course, my best lap was almost 2 seconds faster. Even for that, I think it was at least a good ending for me, because he just, I don't think that he's just as happy as I am. but I'm not really happier. But it was fun, of course, and at least I was able to get in front of him. And in some way I'm happy that he was not pulling on me during the overtaking, and that's the first step that you can check on others, because most of the guys are just pulling on you, and if somebody just lets you to get into the finish line, even for that he knew that he's going to lose with it, then I guess I'm always respecting this guy. I mean, that move I respected. Of course, for respecting somebody needs much more from them than just one move, but the first step was into the good direction in some way. And yeah, I do know that the race before, when I was just laming, it was not his fault. He was not hitting me to into those things. I guess it doesn't matter. It was fine, and in some way I'm appreciating that he just did not pull on me like 99% of the other racers do. So I guess it's going to be an interesting last race. I will be on to to keep up with the guy, and I will be on to not to get hold up by the pack, and for that it looks like that it's going to be really great for me that we are just starting from the top, both of us. Oh yeah, for some reason my car is just really accelerating faster than how these minis are just doing it. And I guess they are just not really happy about this thing, because I guess most of the guys who are just having minis are just thinking that it's just really the fastest car in some way. And as you can see, in some way it is. But let's just try not to stay behind. Let's just try not to get my ass whooped. So let's just push to it, even for anything. Let's just try to fit into the hole in some way. And of course let's just try not to hit anything else than what I just should. The nothing. And in this way at least I'm thinking that my car is just going to be accelerating faster. But I will need to watch on the guy behind, not to let him to draft on me. Because if I'm going to let him to draft on me, then it can happen that he's just going to get after me. And yeah, at least I'm just seeing that the map has just has daylight right now, so I'm seeing, and if I'm just seeing where I'm heading, then it's always better. Yeah, during the time I'm just dogged, he just got really next to me, and I'm just, oh Chico! I was really lucky that I just hit the checkpoint, I guess, and so for that I think it was really cool. But yeah, let's just try to stay on the road. Yeah, at least I'm just checking. Oh, Chico! He just hit me. I think it was not really on purpose, or at least I'm just hoping so. I think it was because that he was just expecting on that thing that I'm just going to do such thing like hitting something, or I don't know what he just thought. But it was just fine for me because I just stayed in the front, and I'm just still trying to be on the front and not really letting him to draft on me, because if he can stay behind me, then it's going to be an advantage for him. And of course at least the guy behind just has an advantage. It's a good thing for the guy behind, but it just can happen that it's just not going to be enough. I'm not really on to decide it was a luck or not. I think it was fine for me, because at least I was able to get and stay on the top in some way, because he was able to overtake me a couple times, but at the end I just got into the finish line first. And what can I say, I think he was clean in some way. I think the last time when he hit me, it was just because of that we are racing, and during racing, even for anything, it can happen that the cars are going to contact with each others. So if anybody is going to ask me next time why I just hit his car, then think about what happened around. And if you are just really seeing other opponents dancing with their car, spinning around and hitting everybody else, then you might think about that thing, that it was not on purpose, I just got hit from the other side and the energy just got connected to you in some way. Not the connect is the best expression for this, I guess, but I'm not the best in English right now. But of course I'm thanking you that you watched this video, and let's just check out what is going to be the next one.